Joffrey, Renly, Robb Stark are all thieves. They'll bend the knee or I'll destroy them.
Mina left the Sept of Snow, trailing behind Florian. He disappeared in the smoke of the incense as he walked out to the east of the city. Mina had grown to hate these weekly services. The Sept of Snow was adjacent to the old keep, but due to the thick expansive gardens surrounding the Sept, where the old gods would lay, you could only exit to the east, and have to maneuver through the entire city. Tedious, Mina thought. Florian leapt on his horse, his juniper cloak of velvet waving behind him. He rode off briskly, leaving Mina and Yolanda behind, babe in her arms. Yolanda didn't look away from her husband for a moment. Mina could sense discontent between the two, but they galloped along, their monogamous matters hanging like a shroud. Mina broke this law. "Whatever he's done, you'll do your duty, won't you, my sweet?" Mina said, looking at Florian ahead. Yolanda nodded and feigned some issue with her son Ambrose, to absence herself from this conversation. Mina's relationship with Sevensport was an ambiguous one. She knew she was loved, but she feared the people. They rioted to no end under her husband, and even then there was a fragile peace and respect for Aengar III within his capital. So bearing this in mind, Mina's heart rushed to her mouth when the city watch in their kettle helms, amaranth red surcoats, ornate poleaxes, mail and their oval shields began to clangor. She instinctively rode up to Florian and screamed, "Get back to the new keep! Ride, my son! You know not what they are capable of! I have seen this—" Florian interjected. "Mother, what do you mean?" Florian bore a dozen flowers in his hands. The crowds weren't rioting, but cheering. Shouts of Florian, Florian King, Seven Star, Queen Mina, Queen Firehand. Mina flinched as a flower hit her. It cascaded downward. She looked up, smiled, and rode back to Yolanda, who, frowning and forlorn, grabbed her hand and rode her forward to her husband. Ambrose was passed into Florian's arms. He lifted his son above his head. A roar erupted from the small folk. Mina hadn't experienced this before. She was loved, but her husband's sternness overshadowed the love they bore her. "Good Queen Mina," another yelled, and she began to well up. They rode along the Silt village, that mismatch of alleys, with houses so close people were known to clamber across balconies, with the imposing new keep looming behind, a stone reminder of who ruled here. Even those in the Silt village, that den of detritus, cheered Florian. He had become what she had hoped. She had only now realised. He is as strong as his father, and as beloved as his uncle was. Florian wheeled his mount and shouted back to his mother, "Smile, mother! Give them an ounce of your love and they'll return theirs 10 times over." And so saying, he wheeled around again, made his horse buck and waved. You could still hear the chorus of cheers as they rode through Andleton, though of a different nature. Merchantmen and rich widows applauded as the royal family trotted by. Petitioners for the bank ran alongside Florian, trying to force their written proposals into his hands. Florian directed them to the Master of Coin, Lord Erman, stout and grey-bearded. They turned left into Engerton, and as the last ring of walls emerged, the coil walls and the narrow towers of the Spear Gate loomed overhead. Mina once again felt her heart in her mouth, though she restrained herself, as Florian dismounted and placed hands on the sick and kissed babies. One woman begged for him to place his hands on her belly in the hopes that it would make her fecund. He threw coins into the crowd, as did his queen, though with a marked less enthusiasm. The winter had been harsh on his people. Florian knew that, as did Mina. He spoke to them now. He remounted his horse and shouted, "My people!" That itself was answered with a roar. "You have suffered greatly for my wars. I know that. Men and women alike, be that in the field or on the battleground. I do not forget this. They say I am the father of the realm. That would make you my children, and I would see my children fed." He said so with the panache waved ever so dramatically, as wagons of bread and grain came bounding in at his command. That made Mina think back to the time they had visited Maiden's Gate while her husband still ruled, and her uncle Lord Harston Seven Stars' words rang in her head. He has a penchant for drama, this one. Not much like his father. Not that that's a bad thing, of course, your grace. You were right, uncle, Mina thought. He is dramatic, and he is not his father, thank the gods. Mina whispered as she entered the new keep. The stripling that fussed in Maiden's Gate was gone, as was the adolescent who tried to act like an adult man at his coronation. Now only remained the man, the king. The cheers rang. Long may he reign. Mina ascended the walls to join in. The noise all seemed to fade as Mina's eyes once again welled. And a cold air descended over her. I have seen this all before. Mina trembled into the wave of the cheers.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Grand Northern Kingdom of Andalia with King Florian, the first of his names. And we managed to conquer Winterfell in the last episode. We have given away that land. We gave away Winterfell, of course, to Lord Brandon Stark, who is a favourite of the Seven. We gave Castle Cerwyn. We allowed House Cerwyn to keep. King's Course, we allowed House Cassel to keep. We landed our brother Theon in Dawn Forest, Theon of Dawn Forest, as it's more of a landed knight land. And then in Torrens Square, well, Florian Square as I've now named it, we have Sir Lyn Clifford. So a new house there, rised up to power. So this is obviously all part of a High Lordship. Now that we have the vassals there, we will grant the landlord title, the High Lordship of Winterfell, including the vassals that go with that, to Lord Brandon of Winterfell, making House Stark a higher lord. And hopefully it's going to give us a decent amount of manpower, I'd imagine, once he gets it under control. Of course, it's not great at the moment. And then also we have another new custom house down in Cherwell. As House Marsh died out, we now have House Elric with Lord Harwin Elric, who is a Faith of the Seven Cranagman, who is a mastermind scholar, a trained fighter. He's uncuff, he's mystic, ambitious, charitable, diligent, zealous, stubborn, and arbitrary. So we'll see how Lord Harwin gets on in that new Cranagman house. Our first Faith of the Seven Cranagman house as well, which is interesting. The Greystarks are currently at war with the Umbers to expand their land, so we'll see what happens there. We ourselves need to start getting claims on the Stony Shore and Sea Dragon Point so that we can expand further and take more of the north. But for now, yeah, we'll just let things do what they've got to do as our armies and such recover. We have one prisoner, yes, Benfrey, of course, who I do want to marry off so that his children gain the name of another household. Lord Theomore of Grey Cliffs used a favour on Sir Romand of Owentold to force him to join all of their factions. What faction have we got? Crown Loyalists, Lord Roland Royce for Mountain Vale, Lady Mud for the Rivers and Hills, of course. It's pretty much the same ones as we'd expect. And Lord Greystark wants independence, which is interesting. We may have to send our Spymaster there to scheme them. That's probably a little bit more dangerous. We can handle the Royces a bit easier, but the Greystarks have actually got quite a lot of power now, so we probably do need to do something about that. Something else I was just about to do, and now because of that I can't remember. Yes, someone did recommend a good marriage proposal. He does have a son now, Sir Eddard Steelheart, 42. Wow. Queen of... Oh, okay, so his daughter is married to the King of the North, which is interesting. Or was it Sir Eddard Steelheart's daughter? Illyria Steelheart. Can we arrange a marriage between you? Can we not go for Bloom while he's a prisoner? I don't know if we can, you know. We can force him to marry someone if we had them in our court, but okay, who do we have here? Unella Snow, our cousin. We could just marry him to a 7-star maybe, but then it will pass down that 7-star. We could do with having her in our court. Can we get you to join our court? Can't invite you to court. Where are you at the moment? Are you a scepter? No, you're not. I'm highly zealous. Yeah, if we could get Benfrey to marry you, that would be perfect, but I don't look like we're going to be able to do it, does it? So we're going to have to marry him to someone in our court instead. So let's force marry him to... Can we go for the... Yeah, forced marriage to... Let's have a look who we've got. It's got to be somebody who... How old is... He's around our age, isn't he, Benfrey? 20 years old. Well, he's a little bit younger than us, actually, then. 2 years younger. Let's go for someone around his age. And we do have Unella 7-star. Well, Snow. She's a bastard. 2 bastards together. We do have Liara 7-star, Hunchback. We have a Malice star, a Firehand. It's probably going to have to be Unella Snow, isn't it then? Do have the Lady Viper in here. Yeah, we'll go for Unella Snow then. It's going to upset people. Released from prison, joins High King Florian. Do you know what? No, we'll leave that for now. We'll see if we can get someone in our court, someone else, and do that. We'll leave him imprisoned for now. Greystocks have got quite the powerful force, haven't they? 8,000 men. A stillborn child. Always seems to happen. Maynard's still alive on the wall. Maynard the skin changer. Mira Brightmire died a natural death at the age of 45. Was she the Lady of High Point? No, she wasn't. It's Lady Estelia. Your reports from Sevensport that the charity work is going well on our behalf. Perfect. I don't really think there's any other things that we can do for now. We could hold a feast. We've got the money to do so. And it does improve opinion of people. Why not? Let's hold a feast to celebrate our victory in the north. All my vassals will be invited. It's going to be interesting to see what the Greystocks do. I can't... And Lord Moribald is now known as the Unworthy. Interesting. High King Florian, some among your subjects have been found to be pillaging the land under my domain. I demand that they are made to pay just recompense so that the damage caused can be repaired, else we may have to resort to force of arms to seek our redress. 17 gold. Ha, that bloody-minded fat pig will get nothing from me. Launch an investigation. Who is it? Is it the Ironborn? Yes, the Ironborn have been raiding the west, it would seem. That's fine. I don't really care about that. How much manpower do you now have? Wow, 213,000 compared to our... So about 100,000 more. It would upset our Ironborn friend. We don't really want a war. We'll be given just cause to force arms. We can launch an investigation. Yeah, we'll launch an investigation for now. Let's have a look into what's going on there, just to try and delay it for now. Can't go to war with the north. We do want to try and get more of this land. At least we do have some more powerful bannermen now. We'll spend enough to satisfy everyone's hunger. We don't want to get fat. So we've got no manpower from Torrens Square. Most of the preparations for the feast have now been made. I only need to send the invitations. Perfect. The upcoming feast has attracted the attention of a young summer islander named Laro Soku. This man is currently on a tour of the cities and lands of the region and would like to attend your feast while he's in Sevensport. Yeah, well, he's more than welcome. And we've got a war going on here. Dear High King Florian, I thank you for your invitation, but I will not be able to attend. That's because you hate us. Yeah, that's fair. Wow, look at the manpower of House Bloom. While pondering over the guest list for the feast, I wonder if I should invite my friend, Sir Harif Rag. Yes, of course we should. So what have we got going on here? We've got an Ironborn War 4. Attacking Lord Samuel of the Lancet, Lord Paramount Alton's claim on Cape Kraken War. It's Cape Kraken over here, isn't it? Yeah, well that is a Greyjoy, so let's see if we can command him to end the war. Your Grace, I'm afraid I cannot end this war. My cause is just, and as such you have no right to command me to stand down. If he does have a claim on it, we'll choose who. Maybe, yeah, we'll decide someone else is the rightful. Grant a claim on the Iron Islands to yourself, which would upset him. It's only going to upset him and us, so that's fine. So could we actually like revoke his title then without upsetting people? Since we have a claim on it, our vassals will not object, so we could do that and take the Iron Islands and put it in control of someone else. When I opened the door, I saw no one, but as I stepped aside to close it, a group of acrobats cartwheeled, somersaulted and tumbled in. They performed all sorts of tricks and everyone watching exploded into applause. When they finished, you would be perfect for my feast. Yeah, we're going to have to do something about these Ironborn then, aren't we? Let's try and revoke his title then, the Kingdom of the Iron Islands. Send. Let's see what happens there. Will he put up arms against us, or will we literally just take it? May wisdom ever elude you. I not allowed you to steal my titles without a fight. You are no longer my liege lord. They will surely honour their obligations. The Neck have already decided not to get involved. The dishonourable Allard Bloom has failed to answer my call to arms and has taken side with the enemy instead. Okay, well that's interesting. And has the Neck done the same by the looks of it? Yes, they have. Okay. Well, looks like we're going to have to do something about Lord Bloom as well then, aren't we? Let's have a look at the current Lord Bloom. Does he have any children? He does have a son, Offen Bloom, who's not overly amazing. Right, so how much manpower are we going to need for this? Probably not a lot. But then again, I don't want to waste manpower if we don't have to. Let's call up our Lance army and our fleet. More than enough ships there. Let's just see what we've got. Barraton, let's call up our Barraton army and fleet. 3,000 men there. Plenty of ships for them. The Rills army, I don't know how strong they are. 900, let's go get them on that fleet as well. Obviously, we'll call up the old Andalian forces, as always. Which is, wow, not actually that many men. Our 7 support host is a lot weaker than normal. Let's call up the Rack host. 10,000 men. From there, let's get them to march south. Can we actually call up the Grey Cliff army? Not sure at the moment. We'll leave it for now. We will call up our Sea Guard and Red Guard host. Don't have any ships, though, apparently, which is interesting. Only 5 from there. We'll disband those 5 ships for now. Let's get these all to march onto Old Stones for now. Should we call up the Blackwood our host? Everything that we can on this west coast, I suppose. We should get a decent army from House Dirt. They are fairly loyal. What about the Seymours? What can we get from the Seymours these days? 1,700 men. That is pretty impressive. We'll see if that's enough men for now. At the age of 44, your aunt, Rennie Sevenstar, died of complications related to gout. Yeah, she deserves to be honoured with a funeral. Just the Sevenstar family will be invited. And they're going to attack us, the Bloom host. Who have we got in charge of this host? Let's get Florian in there himself with Eldred Flax. And Sansa Firehand's probably the next best one, isn't she? So we'll get her in there. Let's see how this goes. They're going to attack us. We should have... Yeah, they've decided to back out of that. I thought they might. At first, you were overjoyed to learn that Yolanda was pregnant, but that joy turned to rage as she confessed that you weren't the father. No. Ah. Well, this will have to be dealt with. That is not okay. That is not okay at all. Who did it say the father was? We're going to have to look into this more, aren't we? The invitation has been sent to the lords and ladies of the realm. I think it said it was Botley, didn't it? Right, so we're going to have to spend enough to satisfy everyone's hunger. So we've got a feast and a funeral coming up now. We will have you imprisoned. Yolanda is now safely locked away in my dungeon awaiting her fate. It didn't say that she had a lover, though. So I'm pretty sure it was Botley, but... Where is he? Where is he? He'll be in our court somewhere, won't he? Harrick Botley. I'm pretty sure it said it was you. Yeah, you are our rival, apparently. Can we imprison you? He's managed to avoid my capture, avoid my guardsman, has fled to the court of Captain... Oh, you bastard. Managed to escape our justice, so it'll just have to be our wife. Lady Amira of Seaguard has provided me with proof that someone has been viciously slandering me. Okay, we'll keep this to ourselves for now. The guests have arrived in Sevensport for the feast. Perfect. Just wait for the rest of our men to get here. I rushed around trying to get everyone to work harder, making sure everything was ready at the feast. I waited impatiently for my friend Sir Harif to arrive, but still did my best to make sure every guest felt welcome. Okay, hopefully that will impress our friend, and the Greyjoy host has arrived. Let's sail these ships down here for now, if we can. There we go. Benfrey Snow. Oh, well, here we go. Right. Ermin Bloom is currently under my control and his relative. It's not his fault, and it's not Benfrey's fault. He's imprisoned anyway. A petitioner by the name of Sir Chalice Macclesworth requests a small grant of coin and lands for the claims to have served loyally in the war against King's Court and has suffered great losses as a result. No idea who you are. How much would it be? Yeah, we'll give you some gold. Keep our vassals happy. My prisoner Yolanda Firehand is complaining about her dark cell. No, we'll let you rot. You've had an affair. So Roman Sevenstar has used his attendance at the feast in Sevenstar to present a petition for justice before the court. He claims that Lord Ryman Darkblade sullied his honour by having illicit relations with his wife. Let's have a look. Lord Ryman... Relations, lovers, Lady Melissa of Owentolt. So that is true. Let's have a look. Lord Ryman. He's actually the Lord. He will pay recompense. For now. What are we going to do about it? Can we demand a divorce? Request a divorce. Ask High Seven for a divorce from Yolanda. This will cost you piety and granted. And if granted, will be viewed as an insult by her relatives. Fidelity and fertility of the spouse tend to be the main focus in determining a willingness to... But she's admitted to it. Have we got to wait until she has the child? Let's put her in house arrest, actually, for now. I'm not sure what's going on here. We will call her for trial as well. Let the feasting commence. Hopefully then we'll be able to get a divorce. Yolanda Firehand has demanded a trial before the court, which Lord Simmons Dirt shall oversee to ensure justice is served. At the start of the trial, she is formally accused of adultery, a charge brought by High King Florian Sevenstar. Yolanda begins to present her defence, but the court did not seem impressed. She put a very unconvincing and nervous figure. Lord Simmons stood before the court and aggressively questioned the accused. Many at court were convinced by his argument, but then again, many seemed unimpressed. He made a reasonable case. A verdict has been reached. Lord Simmons proclaims to the crime of adultery, I find Yolanda Firehand guilty. I'll have her head on a pike. She will serve the smith for the rest of her days, becomes a silent sister. She will walk through the streets naked and back to her cell. I'll be the... No, she will serve the silent sisters for the rest of her days, which leaves High King Florian unmarried. At least we did manage to get an heir off of her, but we're now going to need to remarry. So... let's have a look what we've got in our realm. Gender, female, of course. Married, no. Doesn't have to be our culture or anything like that. Let's have a look what we've got. How old are we now? 22. Let's have a look what we've got then. There's quite a few unmarried around our age. Let's have a look what we've got. Drox, Turnbull, Snowfall, Clifton, Anvil, Grafton, a blue 7-star. Probably need to stay away from that incest a little bit. Our mother is a blue 7-star. A Belmore. A Belmore, maybe. Clifton, some random ones. A Hard Steel. There's not many. A Waynwood, but she's an imbecile, so that's a no. Yolanda Firehand, who's a pregnant silent sister. Tollet, a Dirt, Helena Dirt. Flax, Drexler Bell, another Belmore, a Roseheart, Marjorie Roseheart. Have we ever had a Roseheart Queen? I'm not sure we had. That's a maybe then. The Roseheart is a maybe. That's probably about the best one that we've got at the moment. Green Star and Manda's. Actually, Mandalay's around still. Interesting. There's the Steelheart girl, but she's a Scepter. Sarah 7-star, our kinswoman. Distantly related. Hornsby. It's not another Roseheart. Melissa Roseheart. She's a lot younger. Brunella 7-star. There's a Creed. Do you know what? I think it is going to have to be, by the looks of it. Where is she? That's Steelheart girl. Not Steelheart, sorry. Roseheart. Marjorie Roseheart. Arrange a marriage between her and King Florian. Send. Let's see how that goes down. Hopefully, this wife will not cheat on Florian. We do need a bride. May you live in harmony and contentment. I accept your suggestion that High King Florian and Marjorie get married. And Marjorie Roseheart has arrived at your court. Right, now let's get this war one. We've got 11,000 men. High King Florian, 7-star, and Marjorie Roseheart have gotten married. It's customary for a dowry to be paid to the groom's house. Yes, it's in everyone's concern. We'll take a bit of money. Your Master of Coin has presented to the court a list of damages caused by a weir built by the people of Goldenfield on the river to your demesne, which has caused a great loss of coin to the treasury. We can bear the losses and extra tax. No, we can bear the losses. We don't want to make the people suffer. Your Grace, Lord Lister has sent you a customary amount. 10 gold. Yeah, that's fine. Right, the funeral. As the Silent Sisters finish the preparations of the deceased, the body of Rennie is brought to the local sept and laid atop the altar at its centre. Canopic jars of ornate design are placed at the feet of the dead, and the eldest child places the death stones upon the closed eyes of the deceased. One by one, those closest to the departed in life make their way into the sept and speak their goodbyes, shed their mournful tears, and pray to the seventh of the dead. As the day winds down and the last goodbye is said, the body is carried by kin along the crown-lined streets to its final resting place. As the sun fades away, a great feast is held, and those who knew the dead recount stories of the life and deeds of the lost, and so it is done. Who was Rennie again? She's the mother of, 2 7-stars. Leanna 7-star, who's married to Glendon Firehand, and Liessa Firehand. Okay, right, can we now merge this army? Let's take care of that Bloom host. We've got a small Reed host here. I've got an army that's been left behind. Let's sail that fleet to go and fetch the Rills host. Why can we not call up any fleet from... Oh, we have to actually call it up from here. That's fine. Do we sail that around? Do we wait first? No, let's sail it around. We can always march the host there. Do you know what? We're probably going to need the Sevensport fleet as well, aren't we? We'll see what we need. We don't want to call up more men than necessary and use up our manpower if we don't need to. That's a lot of Greyjoy men, though, there. But we'll take care of this Bloom host first, which is probably going to be more problematic. We have our new wife now, Queen Marjorie of Andalia. Let's see how things go with her. Can we send her a little gift? Improves her opinion of us. Hopefully we can get ourselves a child pretty soon. Yeah, let's see how that goes. Let's take care of this Bloom host, which we are going to completely destroy. Brandon Stark has had ice added to their treasury. Lord Brandon the 5th of Winterfell. Arthur Stark died. Okay, so he's managed to get ice back somehow. No idea how, but that's awesome. Because I did want to give them back, but for some reason Benfrey Snow had it. But that's good. Somehow they've managed to reattain it. I wonder if Benfrey Snow's gave it to someone who's then to give it to him. No idea, but at least ice is back in the hands of the Starks. So I did want to do that when we placed them back in power. Now let's get Oldcastle under siege. Then again, I don't know if do I really want to get Oldcastle under siege, because it is a formidable fortress and it's going to take a lot of time and effort. So I think I will just skip over it instead and we'll go and fight the Greyjoys. Right, let's get these 900 men to embark here and we will sail them down here. Let's march these 20,000 men into Seaguard. Has it got a good supply limit? Oh yeah, a really good supply limit. Lord Ellis of Longbow Hall has died of severe stress. Is that House Hunter? Yes, it is. Okay. Not overly important, but if we can get our fleets down here and we can sail across to the Iron Islands with this manpower that we've got down here, and then these 21,000 men here should be more than enough, hopefully, to take care of the Greyjoy host up here. There we go, 27,000 men, 172 ships, which should be enough. No, it's not enough, we need more ships. The fleets are on their way. Kyra is such a caring aunt, always ready to lighten up the mood during a somber family dinner or play with the children. Even though we may disagree from time to time, I cannot deny her accomplishments as an aunt. Princess Kyra, okay, that's nice. Our brother's wife, sister, who was married to the Royce Lord. Well, no, I think it was the Royce Lord's brother, wasn't it? But no idea whereabouts in. 181 fleets. Let's send those to Seaguard. We've got 142 here. Let's send those to Seaguard as well for now. We should have more than enough fleets then. Do we call up any more of these? We could call up the High Oak Coast, I suppose, but which is how many men? 1,300. No, we'll leave it for now. We may need the Vale Power. We may not need the Vale Power. Let's just take care of the Crannog men for now. Under the control of Lord Harwin. So he's a decent commander, is he, apparently? Well, no, he's not, so that's interesting. His first thing to do, sorry, Pike, but your character's first thing is to join a civil war. Prince Engra Vandalia, our brother, needs a focus. Let's have a look. So he's got Marshal 6. Diplomacy could work. He's not very good in diplomacy. Marshal could be good, but not really got the traits for it. What was you going for? We were going for learning before, but we can't actually do that, can we? We have already got a diplomatic brother. Stewardship? You're pretty good at stewardship, actually. Let's go for a stewardship education, just 'cause I'm trying to go for different educations for each of the siblings. We need a decent tutor for him. We'll go for Ermin Bloom, who, of course, has amazing stewardship. Taking a long time for these 22,000 men to march down into the neck. We have got the fleet power here, though, so let's merge those together. Let's embark these 30,000 men, and we will sail straight for Pike and dock our men there. Apparently, we've got room for another commander. Let's have a look. Do we have anyone actually suitable? There's not that many great commanders around anymore, unfortunately. Bowen, Lord of the Rills. Harith Rack. We'll go for Harith Rack. He's our friend. Half decent commander. I do apologise for that noise. I think my neighbours are doing some sort of drilling. Good thing about this, though, the Greyjoys are losing a lot of men in their siege. They are about to siege this land, but at least they're losing manpower. Let's dock our men in Pike. And at age 37, Rodwell Goldfellow died of the flu. Not even sure who you are. Sir Ermin Bloom is an Aleel and able servant. Yes, we will arrange it. Does he have children? Only a daughter who has Josso children. Okay. Yes, it's turning colder and colder. The people of the area can no longer work the fields, or winter is still here. I forgot that we're in the middle of winter. It's a bit of a long winter this one has been, actually. It's been winter for quite some time. And the Reed host has been absolutely slaughtered to a man, every single one. Upon her death, Lafine has cashed her shareholding out of the bank. No idea who you even are. Let's march these 22,000 men to deal with the Greyjoy host then. And we've got 27,000 men sitting in Pike. What's the supply limit? 15,000. So let's split you in half. Move 13,000 on to Lordsport and get that under control. Then we will be able to move our ships down and dock them once that is underway. We should be able to win this war fairly straightforwardly. My liege, my work in Stony Shore seems to have come to fruition. By bribing Gajorn and get swording, threatening and forging documents, I've managed to fabricate a claim. Perfect. Does cost us a lot, but at least that is done. And can we move you yet? Yes, we can. So we'll fabricate a claim now up on Blackpool. Which always makes me laugh seeing the name Blackpool there. That's someone from Britain. We're still struggling. Now, let me, what's the supply limit here? 13,500. So we're only just over. That'll be right. We've got Brandon Stark in charge of that. And in charge of this, we will go for Danes High Oak. We always seem to send him out to these things. My young cousin has finished their education in military and command. It turned out less than weller than expected. An incompetent commander. Fair enough. Your prisoner Benfrey Snow is offering to pay his ransom. No, you'll stay in my custody, Benfrey. How many times have I got to tell you? How many wards have we got now? Just Harsley Seymour. Oh no, and Unella Snow, who will be leaving soon. So we do need a new ward. What was Prince Lister again? Marshal. Yeah, so we chose well, at least, with Enger. If Prince Lister's Marshal, who's his guardian? Sir Eldred Flax. That's pretty decent, actually. I was going to say we could take him on ourselves, but no, we're okay. Has Fionn had any children yet? Not yet, which is a shame. Bloom. There's another Bloom host up there. Or it's the same Bloom host that retreated, but I don't think we need to worry about them too much. The Iron Islands are always a pain in any playthrough to siege. They are such a pain to siege, which I suppose does make sense. What the hell? That was literally instant. Enger, literally instant. It's cost us all of our money. It was that quick. Our endless generosity to the poor is done well as well. So Robar Crownless died attending to chamber business. The shits strike again. They're even taking children now. They show no mercy. We're not even going to be able to move you for quite some time, so we're going to have to leave you there for now, Enger, but well played. Even if you have bankrupt us by doing so, but Maester Benfrey has shared some of his latest ideas with me. I do not know much of medicine, but perhaps he is onto something. He asked for some money to develop his theory further. Yeah, okay, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt, Benfrey. We need to trust our new Maester. Will we get there before the siege is won? We actually have, which is awesome. So we can destroy the Greyjoy host before they even manage to take any land, which is absolutely wow, we literally slaughtered half of the host without losing hardly any manpower at all ourselves. So we will stay where we are for now. That gives us a lot of war score. We can manage to siege some of this down, it'd be even better. I don't care about dragons. Stop telling me about dragons. I do not care in the slightest.
Florian rode ahead of his column. The riders of House Sevenstar followed closely behind him into battle. The wind went through his hair as his men closed their ranks. It was good to be fighting again, even if he disliked the internal dispute. Lord Greyjoy had long been overdue for a lesson. How long had that man defied the orders of Florian and his own father? Who did he dare think he was? A mighty kraken that could grasp the stars was what Lord Alton thought of himself. In reality, he was merely a fish that was there to be eaten. And then there was Lord Bloom. His house that had always been stalwart in its loyalty to the crown now had shown a different side of itself in these recent years. First, the wife of his uncle had cheated on him and tried to place that base-born bastard on the throne, a throne that was owed to Florian by the gods. Then the Blooms were always trying to free this bastard, and now going so far as revolting. Their host was already shattered. However, no man was stupid enough to assault Oldcastle, so he simply let them suffer inside the castle and stew until they surrendered. They were all trouble, Blooms and Greyjoy, and his whore wife as well. He wondered if they were in a pact to simply taunt him. If that was their aim, all were to feel his wrath now. That woman was left to rot now, never able to fulfill her desires again, even if the whorehouse was a more fitting place for her. She had been fucking Alton Greyjoy, Benfrey the Bastard, and Harrick Botley for all he knew. An outrider shouted at him as they reached the top of a ridge overlooking the battlefield. The Lancer host was fighting the Greyjoy men on the beach. holding them back as well as they could. The king turned to face the 2,000 riders behind him, men from all over Andalia. From down south in the lands of House Highoak to House Greystarks of the Grey Cliffs, they all had answered his summons. Florian pulled Mother's Mercy out of his scabbard and pointed it at his men. "Where are you from?" asked the king with a commanding tone. The man that he pointed at looked around confused and then answered slightly nervously, "I am from the lands of House Steelheart in the Vale." Florian pointed the sword at another man. "And you?" "Baraton, my king," the soldier responded with great confidence. "You," said Florian again to another man. "A village in the Grey Cliffs, your grace." Florian only smiled and began riding down the lines. "We are all from different places. We all have different mothers. All of us know different lives, and not even faith is commonly shared here. But we are united. We believe in the same laws. We fight for what is right. You are all loyal men and great warriors. None in Andalia can deny that. For you are the protectors of this kingdom, its greatest bulwark. Who do you fight for?" Florian shouted out. "Andalia!" replied the crowd of men in one voice, raising their spears. "But those men down there, they wish to burn the lands of this kingdom, to divide us and go against everything the gods stand for, be they old or new. They have betrayed your king, your kingdom. Would you accept this?" Florian shouted again with a greater intensity. "Never!" answered the army in an angry, united voice. "Then come with me and drive the squids back into the sea. Come with me and prove to them the might of Andalia. For every man that falls here, 20 of them shall fall by your blades. Ride with me now to victory." Florian raised Mother's Mercy and then lowered it, pointing towards the Greyjoy host. The king lowered his helm and charged. "To victory!" echoed the shouts from behind the king as they charged after him, over the ridge and onto the battlefield. Thousands of horses thundered along the field, but the destrier of the king led them, Mother's Mercy in his hand. As they got ever closer to the men of the Iron Islands, Florian could not help but laugh. Laugh about his ill fortune, laugh in the face of the gods, laugh about his excitement for the future, and laugh about the arrogance of those that dared defy him. The Ironborn had now realised what was upon them, with some already running, while others tried to create a defence in vain. All around him the men lowered their spears and lances. Florian saw a man that he wanted to kill, and prepared to swing the steel. For a moment there was silence as the two lines charged against each other, before they clashed. Then it all happened at once, as the lines of 2,000 men met their opponents and began tearing through them. Florian had cleanly cut off the head of the man that he wanted, and continued to hold Mother's Mercy downwards. Blood stained it and him, as they tore through the forces of the Iron Islands. Slowly they began retreating to their ships, and Florian ordered his men to halt. As the Iron Islanders attempted to retreat, the trap was now ready. From the hills flew several dozen burning barrels of tar onto the longships that they so perfectly been lined up together. The king smiled as the longships went up in flames, and the broken Ironborn now found themselves trapped between the hills, the sea, and his men. Florian could only imagine their terror. The king raised his sword once more and let out one final order. Charge! This was it. This was his love, his victory, his glory.
Betrothed can marry. Lord Maynard of the Warriors' Watch and Mora Steelheart. Yes, send. Actually, how old is Prince Lister now? 14. It's time that we find you a bride then, isn't it? Let's find, yes, female, married, no. You are 14. Let's find a bride closer to your age. No, we're not going to go for a 7-star. We need to cut out that incest. There's a Steelheart, courtier in King's Course. There's an Errand Star, which would be interesting. Another Errand Star. An Alderman. Darkland, but it's obviously not part of our land. A Stoke, a Hooton, a Malister, a Rook. Marianne Rook. You know what? I don't think we've ever had a Rook marry into the royal family. So let's do that. Let's arrange a betrothal between her and Prince Lister. Did it just say she was a bastard? Did I see that wrong? No, I don't think it was. So send. Perfect. Marianne Rook. Right, and now if we go a bit younger for our other brother, Engar, let's see if we can get a betrothal for him. We've got Alice Crescent. I don't know if we've ever had a Crescent. A Mud. A Mud could work quite well because they are constantly misbehaving. A Josso. But I think that she might like be the only... Is she actually the lady? Lady Mordain. Oh, she has a sibling. Yes, we don't really want... I'm going to go for the Mud Gal. Let's go for the Mud Gal. So we'll arrange a betrothal between the Mud Gal and Prince Engar. Send. That'll hopefully keep the Muds in line. I think, though, we will end the episode with those betrothals and we'll finish off the war in the next one, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, as always. I hope you've enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. And join the Discord server, and I'll see you all very soon for the next episode.